Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Satish. In the last video we looked at should I do MS or MBA after engineering. In this video what we'll look at is should you do MBA directly after bachelor's, either B.Tech or BS, right, whatever the degree is, right, or should you get some experience and do it. So this is a very common trend. People see, okay, I'll waste time after graduation. In this video we'll look at that aspect in detail. So firstly, if you see, many students, they actually, I would say good amount of them want to basically do their master's degree right after their bachelor's. And in the most part, it's fine if you're doing a science degree like an MS or an MSc or M.Tech, whatever that is, right? It's a more technical degree. But for MBA, it's very, very different. And we'll talk about the reasons for it, right? First thing is, what is the university's approach? What do most of the good universities say? When should you do MBA? So if you look at like Harvard, Stanford's, or any of the reputed colleges, reputed universities in the globe, right? So all of them suggest that you should have an experience of at least 2 to 3 years or more, higher the better. But again, there is no restriction telling that you have to have experience, but the advantages are very, very high if you have experience, before MBA. And we'll come to the reasons, right? So most of the good universities' guidance is that you should have minimum 2 to 3 years of work experience before you pursue your MBA degree. And so the main reason for this is MBA is a business degree, as we mentioned in the last video, right? In business degree, you talk about, about accounting, finance, marketing, organizational management, all these areas, right? Now, when you're actually studying some of these topics, let's say an example of organizational management, in that, what are the team dynamics, okay, how do you treat your employees? How do you treat people who are reporting to you, right? Tell me a conflict situation where your, the person, who's your team member had an issue, and how did you work with them? So imagine you directly going out of college, from a bachelor's degree and trying to answer this question. You have no experience, right? Unless you have done a very good internship, you have literally zero experience on handling the situation. You're going to maybe make up something because you've never been part of a team, never was in a working dynamics environment, never was, part of the nuts and bolts of the, organization. So you can't answer that. So this is just in organizational management, right? So there'll be, you'll go through case studies, you look at finance part of it, and, there'll be budgets that you'll be handling, So all of these, when you're trying to look at these courses that you are doing, right? So you'll be exposed to lot of these business centric ones, business centric areas, all of these, if you work for 2 to 3 years, it exposes you to all of these things. Again, it's not that you will learn all of this, but at least you will be exposed to what happens in a company, how does results work, how does a company business work, profit, loss, all of these things, you may not be really exposed to a lot of these things when you are doing in a bachelor's degree, right? Especially, in a technical aspect like engineering, right? So that is why it's optimal if you have a minimum of 2 to 3 years before your MBA. So that way it sets you in a nice trajectory, so that you actually get a lot of value out of it, and also you will be able to apply that as soon as you graduate. Without that, you're just going to be having a lot of bookish knowledge, when you do an MBA right after your master's. You will learn, of course, but it is not real time, right? So you will probably just look at, and it's just learning, right? So you will probably have some challenges, after graduating, applying them, and then of course you will learn and progress. So ideally, if you have a choice, or ideally the suggestion is, take some time to get some experience and then only apply for MBA. That way you'll get more value out of your degree, and also you'll be able to get into a lot of good schools. So a lot of good schools really, really emphasize that you have that experience, so that's why even getting an admission could be easier. Another option is, many people pursue their MBA at an exec program after 10 plus years or 15 years of experience. You don't have time to go to a full-time program. Then at that time, you take up evening classes or classes of the weekends. So this is another common thing as well, right? That where people, and typically they don't try to mix up an exec MBA program with a cohort kind of a program. And the reason is because they're very senior leaders, let's say in an exec program, they expect people who are in the class have a certain amount years of experience. And if you are somebody with less experience, you may not be able to relate to the things that they discuss in that. So that's the reason. So all in all, in short, get some work experience of minimum 2 to 3 years Even 5 years is better. In my case, I had about about 4.5 years of experience before I went from MBA. So it really helped me when I did my MBA class. Whatever I learned in that 3-4 years, right? That really helped me, and I was able to learn a lot more, and my perceptions of things, everything changed after my MBA. So that's why I highly recommend you also do that. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe for getting regular updates.